WCBI News at 6 starts now.
For the first time in nearly 130 years, there is no state flag flying over the Mississippi Capitol. Good evening, everyone, and thanks for joining us. The three flags that flew over the building were lowered for the last time this afternoon. The banners were folded and taken to the Museum of Mississippi History and the Mississippi Civil Rights Museum, where Lieutenant Governor Delbert Hosemann and House Speaker Philip Gunn presented them to Judge Reuben Anderson, president of the Mississippi Department of Archives and History Board of Trustees. Yesterday, Governor Tate Reeves signed a bill passed by the legislature over the weekend, retiring the flag and calling for the design and a creation of a new one. The Mississippi Department of Health is reporting 653 new cases of coronavirus in the state. The largest increase in our area is in Pontotoc County with 44 new cases. Lafayette County has 13 and Monroe with 12. There are 9 new coronavirus deaths in the state. There are almost 28,000 confirmed cases in Mississippi and 1,082 people have died. At today's briefing, the governor looked straight at the camera and said, quote, "I am begging you. I am begging every one of my fellow Mississippians to please play your part." Governor Tate Reeves says it will take all of us to make a difference.
It's not that our current rules are too loose. Our challenge is that our people aren't following even the simplest of rules. Additional orders are useless if people will not follow what we have in place now.
Reeves is urging Mississippians to follow current guidelines by staying home as much as possible, wear face coverings in public, and stay away from large gatherings like parties or reunions. The governor says reopening the state is paused as he and his advisors are evaluating the next steps. Agencies in West Point team up to give away 4,000 masks today. The giveaway was at the West Point Police Department. Clay County Emergency Management and the Growth Alliance teamed up with officers for the event. Masks were handed out most of the day. The Mississippi Emergency Management Agency has given thousands of face coverings to counties across the state. Tuscaloosa will soon join other Alabama cities requiring residents to wear masks in public. The city council approved the ordinance this week. Face coverings must go over the person's nose and mouth. As in many other areas of the country, the mask must be worn in all indoor public spaces. This includes stores, bars, and restaurants and public meeting spaces. There's a $25 fine for violating the ordinance. More information will be released tomorrow on when the new law will begin. The Mississippi State University Alumni Association says it will not host football tailgates this football season. This only applies to events at the Hunter Henry Center on campus. The university has not made any announcement about tailgating that happens in the Junction and across campus. The Alumni Association says its primary concern is for the health and safety of the Bulldog family. In other news, it almost seems like Zachary's restaurant can't catch a break. A fire last year and then this year, another obstacle, COVID-19. And with many businesses, each struggle comes with some lessons learned. WCBI's Bobby Martinez joins us live to explain.
Joey, the saying goes, in life, difficult situations can either make or break you. And COVID-19 has been that difficult situation for restaurants across the country. And here at Zachary's, this pandemic has brought the restaurant and the community even closer.
An early morning fire breaks out at Zachary's here in Columbus.
They say tough times don't last, but tough people do. And it would appear Zachary's owner, Doug Pelham, is as tough as they come. For the second time in a year, his business plans were tabled.
The hardest thing is having to work harder and make less.
Pelham used his quarantine time to get back to the drawing board and reimagine how he could serve his loyal customers.
We've had to go out and find other ways to get people in. So what things we've done is we've added ice cream for kids. We've added cotton candy, snow cones. We do daiquiris to go now. Quarantine with this whole deal that we've had to do, it comes added cost. The gloves that you see all of our employees wearing, the masks that you see our employees wearing. I spent $2,600 a day for gloves.
Pelham says this time around, all options to gain extra revenue are on the table.
Every single day we're thinking of what can we do to get the competitive edge? What can we do that other people aren't doing? We've got to come up with new ideas. We've got to be open-minded, think outside the box.
Employee Heather Ford says COVID-19 has opened up her eyes to a lot of things.
Patience, a lot of patience, and that sometimes you think, is this overkill? Are we doing this for no reason? But then you have to realize that there are vulnerable people out there, and that if you can protect one person from getting sick by something that you do, that it's worth it.
Pelham says the restaurant will continue to have COVID-19 precautions in place for the foreseeable future. Live inside of Zachary's restaurant, Bobby Martinez, WCBI News.
In Monroe County, folks find a special way to remember their family, friends, and neighbors lost in the COVID-19 pandemic. According to the State Department of Health, there have been 29 deaths in the county. At today's ceremony, U.S. Representative Trent Kelly's office presented a flag that once flew over the U.S. Capitol and a certificate of memoriam honoring those who have passed away. County leaders say even though they've passed, their lives will never be forgotten.
It is vitally important that we remember, because most of those folks were elderly, and there's so much wisdom that comes from those folks. That's where we gain our wisdom and our knowledge, is from these older generations that know so much. World War II era folks were our greatest generations.
At least 25 of the 29 people that died in the county lived in nursing homes.
Somewhat weather across our region this afternoon. Stormy skies, heavy downpours. Let's go to Sherman, right along I-22 northwest of Tupelo. A pretty good storm moving down through, and look at all that blinding rain. We have very heavy rain right now, stretching from New Albany to Pontotoc to Bruce to Grenada, all the way through Yalobusha County. Now the heaviest rain done with Water Valley. We also have some additional storm cells re-emerging near Eupora and Starkville, the Golden Triangle area, south of Columbus near Macon, south of Louisville here in Neshoba County. We still have a severe thunderstorm warning down here from Neshoba County until 6:15. Suffice to say, we have some good gully washers out there right now. There could be some wind gusts over 40, very heavy rainfall, lots of lightning. By about 10 o'clock, all of that should be done. This is round number 1. Lows tonight will be in the low 70s, but later on tonight into tomorrow, more clusters of storms are possible. I'm back with that full forecast in just a few minutes.
And speaking of heavy rainfall, it brought flooding to several parts of the viewing area this morning. Our Cash Matlock joins us live in the studio with more on how emergency responders prepare for the worst. Cash?
Well, Joey, more than 10 people had to be rescued from their homes this morning in Okolona because of rising floodwaters. Emergency management officials say when it comes to flash flooding, it doesn't take long for a situation to become dangerous. Terry Tucker is the Okolona fire chief. He says over the past 13 years on the job, he's seen his fair share of flooding.
I've seen streets flood today that I hadn't seen flood in 14 years.
But sometimes the flooding doesn't stem from natural causes. A lot of it has to do with clogged drain pipes.
People litter, throw tires in there, throw bags of trash, throw trees that they don't have anything else to do with in there, and it clogs up.
Meteorologists always tell us turn around, don't drown when driving. Linda Griffin with Chickasaw County EMA says when walking, that's not always the case.
We encourage people, if they have to walk through racing water, you know, to not pick their feet up, to shuffle their feet, because that racing water will knock you off your feet.
Griffin says sometimes departments seek help from swift water rescue teams.
We've had a few occasions where we did need a boat. Not very often in Chickasaw County, but we do have some roads that can get dangerous real fast.
And if we need help, then we call Monroe County or some of these teams that some of these got swift water teams, West Point, Monroe County, Pontotoc that has us, and they can come assist if we get in this situation.
And if you find yourself in over your head, Tucker says it's best to call for help immediately.
Yeah, just call 911, get somebody to come help you and get you out or whatever, you know.
For more information on swift water rescue in Monroe or Clay County, you can visit our website at wcbi.com.
An update to a story we first brought you at midday. 2 people are killed in Monroe County after the vehicle they were in hit an 18-wheeler. The accident happened on Highway 45 alternate just south of Egypt Road about 8:45 a.m. An 18-wheeler that was hauling a mobile home broke down and its load was partially in the highway. State troopers say safety measures were in place, but a truck collided with the big rig. 2 people were injured. Monroe County Coroner Alan Gurley says 20-year-old Marvin and 23-year-old Carlos Mendez died at the scene. The Memphis men were not wearing seatbelts. The driver of the 18-wheeler was not injured. MHP continues to investigate the crash. Some area jails may be getting a little more operating capital from the state capitol. We take a look at how it could affect the bottom line when we come back.
You're watching WCBI's News at 6 with Joey Barnes.
Welcome back, everyone. Regional jails across Mississippi house inmates that are in the state prison system. Several years ago, the money that they got from the state was cut, but that could soon change if Governor Tate Reeves signs a new piece of legislation. WCBI Savannah Gato joins us live in the studio with how one facility is not waiting on the state to help its bottom line. Savannah?
Joey, Winston County Sheriff Jason PUGH has been checking his email most of the day, hoping the bill signed down in Jackson. What happens there could have a big impact up Highway 25 and allow state taxpayers to keep more of their money. Many people don't think about the costs associated with operating a jail. Food, medical needs, maintenance, and salaries, just to name a few. To help boost its bottom line, the Winston Choctaw Regional Correctional Facility contracts with area law enforcement agencies to house their inmates.
For instance, our regional jail has the capacity to hold more inmates than we usually hold with the county. So we've been able to, of course, house city prisoners for the city of Louisville and recently house prisoners for the city of Philadelphia. And that has helped us keep our bottom line higher than it would have been normally with the state cuts.
The state is currently giving $23 per inmate, but Philadelphia gives $25 for Winston to house inmates. PUGH says that increase in price will provide the community with lots of benefits.
The potential for more jobs, for use of medical facilities, for use of post office facilities, for use of legal facilities. There's a lot that's put into the community by a correctional facility.
Senate Bill 2936 would boost the state's cost to regional jails up to $29.74. Without the increase, that means more out of people's pocket.
Right now, the effect on Winston County would be that the average taxpayer, the person that pays state taxes and pays county taxes, is paying state taxes, and then also their county taxes are having to go to pay for something that their state taxes should be paying for.
We will keep you updated on when Governor Tate Reeves signs the bill.
All right, Keith, a lot of showers out there right now, or thunder boomers.
Yeah,
maybe
big time boomers
word.
in some spots, gully washers. What's your expression?
Toad stranglers.
Yeah, there you
That's
go.
it.
We got those here in Tupelo right now. There comes the storm, some heavy downpours, some gusty breezes here. Live view with our Alpha Insurance Camera Network. A full look at your forecast next.
Your WCBI First Alert AccuWeather forecast with Chief Meteorologist Keith Gibson.
Lots of storms out there. We had a batch this morning. Very heavy rain, flooding as we talk about now this afternoon. Scattered gully washes too. Some heavy rainfall. Obviously spooky clouds. Look at this. Looking at this shelf cloud looming over Caledonia earlier. And also the dark sky here near GTR Airport not too long ago. Thankfully today the bark worse than the bite overall. There's another storm cloud near Hamilton, Mississippi earlier today. Now let's check out our radar situation right now. South of Columbus near Macon, Noxubee County, we have scattered downpours. Various cells around. If you're underneath one of these right now, you know you're getting some good rain. Lots of lightning here. down there in Kemper County. That storm is moving away from our area, but look at this, from Grenada to Duck Hill to Calhoun City to Houston to Okolona. Again, lots of rain, lightning, gusty breezes, and there's no official severe weather in our coverage area at this time. But we mentioned going to break, very heavy rain coming on in the Tupelo right along the 45 corridor. If you don't have to travel right now, just wait until these storms pass your area. It looks like this wave will be on through here by 9 o'clock, and then we'll have some quiet weather for a little bit before we could see some additional rain later tonight and tomorrow. There's a flash flood watch for the northern half of the area that goes through the night into tomorrow morning, but we are all game for some good downpours. It really will depend on who gets what here, but we may squeeze out 1 to 2 to 3 inches of rain over the next 24 hours in places, if not more, like we had earlier today. We also have a low-end severe weather threat for the rest of this evening, tonight, and also for your Thursday. This is just that level 1 threat. Damaging wind gusts, the main severe weather concern. Overall, wind speeds over 40 miles per hour possible with any thunderstorm, in addition to some small hail, torrential downpours, and frequent lightning. But notice how we go through tonight into tomorrow, and you just see clusters of storms move through the region. We will have several waves, it looks like, move through over the next 24 hours, and each one of those waves could be just like the one moving through now, with some gusty storms and some heavy rainfall. So for our Thursday, we are looking at highs in the upper 80s in many spots to around 90 degrees. The heat index could get up to around 100 degrees in spots that happen to get a little bit more sunshine. There's a storm in Tupelo right now coming on in. Skies have darkened on up, and we do have some ominous looking clouds in Columbus. These really aren't anything to be worried about, but they are spectacular to look at. Some boundaries coming in and colliding here, it looks like west of Columbus at 77 degrees. Vernon, 83 degrees. The storms will eventually get to you. And in Louisville, Mississippi, some overcast and stormy conditions. So upper 80s tomorrow, low 90s Friday through your 4th of July weekend. There will be some spotty storms around here, much like today. Plenty of humidity for the next 7 days. Joey.
Oh, goody. All right, the high school football tour hits double digits. Stop number 10 checks in with Myrtle. Catch the preview next in sports.
Your WCBI Sports with Courtney Robb is brought to you by your local Ford dealers. Go further.
The high school football tour kicks off July with the Myrtle Hawks. The Hawks finally have an entire season of division ball out of the way and now look to find more success this season and finally have a field of their own. That might help them. Myrtle is stop number 10 on the high school football tour.
WCBI Sports 2020 High School Football Tour is brought to you by Itawamba Community College, Cannon Ford of Starkville, Monroe County Farm Bureau, Max South Broadband, and the Bank of Vernon.
Myrtle football finally has a full season of division play under the Hawks' belt, and a good one at that. The Hawks finishing the 2019 season with a 6-6 overall record.
So the first year in division was a big for them. They gained a lot of experience out of it, and we're hoping that just really kind of parlays over into this season.
Myrtle found success with an emphasis on defense. The Hawks picked up 4 of its 6 wins last season by only allowing 1 touchdown or less. That defensive pressure isn't something Myrtle plans to do away with anytime soon. The Hawks bring back nearly the entire team, only having lost a few players in the offseason.
A lot of games last year, I thought we played really well defensively. You know, early in division play, we did pretty well. Threw a few shutouts on the board, so I thought that was huge for us. So I think defense, for the most part, will be a strong suit, and then we're hoping that some new things we do on offense will help us out in those areas.
I think defense is the most important part. You know, if we can stop them from getting another score, then that's what counts. The longer we can hold them off, the longer we have for our offense to go in there and get another win.
Myrtle is excited for more than just getting back on the field this season. After spending the previous season playing at the New Albany Sportsplex, the Hawks are finally getting their own field and their own turf to defend.
I think that's going to change a lot starting off, especially our drive. That's going to give us something to go for. I love the field, and it looks really beautiful out there. I'm ready to play on it.
It feels amazing. It feels like it was just another couple months. We're about to start hitting people again. It's really nice to finally have a football field.
The community has something that they can call their own now. The kids have something they can call their own. It was nice being able to play at the Sportsplex, and we appreciate them letting us do that for the time that we had it. But now having something on your own that they can, that they can really just it's hard to put into words really what it really means to them. Just that feeling of knowing, this is your field and this is your home, and you just get to play on it for the first time.
The Hawks will get the chance to hit their own field for the first time, hosting Vardaman for the season opener on August 21st. With Myrtle on the high school football tour, Courtney Robb, WCBI Sports.
WCBI Sports 2020 High School Football Tour with Myrtle High School is brought to you by JDS Wealth Strategies, BNA Bank, and St. James United Methodist Church.
And the high school football tour continues. Here's a look at the upcoming stops. We've got the Baldwin Bearcats coming up tomorrow on Thursday, Friday. It's our first schedule change, so take a listen. Originally, we had East Union on Friday. Now we will be featuring the Amory Panthers. Some vacation time getting in the way of the schedule a little bit, but that's okay. Saturday, we're previewing the Manatee Mustangs. Sunday, we've got the Bruce Trojans, and then week 3 of the tour, can you believe, kicks off with Calhoun City and plenty more schools from there on. If you missed any of those, you can check our website, WCBI.com. That's it for sports. More when we come back.
Some rain and storms, they continue across our region right now. You are getting soaked in some spots here. Tupelo, one of those locations. We had some wind speeds up to about 33 in Tupelo. So the bark worse than the bite. There are some spooky clouds here and some heavy rain, and that's probably about it. But several more chances here for the next week.
This means we'll have knee-high grass just in time for the
holiday
holiday
weekend. Oh my goodness, it keeps growing. Never will end.
All right, thanks for joining us.